All right, so as promised, we now have the gold version of the Matrix kit from EpicallyGeeky. As you remember, we did the orange version before, and we're going to build this one on camera. So in the package, wrapped up in bubble wrap, you get the basic frame here, 3D printed for the Matrix handle. The core, which is actually glow-in-the-dark plastic, which is a really neat effect. It's not super bright, but if you charge it up before you go back to bed and turn off the lights, it actually gives you enough light to see by. It's got a pretty decent amount of illumination, not very far. It's not like a flashlight or anything, but it's a pretty decent amount of glow. You've got the back part here, and then the individual casing pieces in gold, the LED, and the battery you need is included. It's a CR2032. You get the 6-part instructions. Now this actually shows insert the back shell, the dome, and then put the shell on it. Everyone I've gotten has come with the back shell already attached to the back dome, which is fine. So yeah, it's a simple. This says 6 steps, but without that back shell piece, it's a 5-step process. Although these are individual pieces to put this together. So you take this, you take the main shell here, and you put the LED through. You just take the LED. You want the longer piece to go through this side. So you push the LED through. There's 2 little holes for the LED leads to go through. You just push that flat against this. And you fold the smaller piece up here into, you'll see a little groove for it underneath there. And then you can see there's a thickness here. And then you fold the flat piece up, or the longer piece up, flat against that, and they should sit apart a little bit. So you want that gap because that's what the penny slot or the coin slot type thing on the top for the battery. You want that to drop that in and have the battery fall and land in between those 2 contacts to light up the matrix. So we just fold that up. It'll be a little wiggly. That's fine. You can fine tune that later. But as long as you get this pushed in as far as you're capable of doing, and then this pushed up flat, once you put the back core on, it's going to kind of hold this in place and should give you what you need for the battery to slot in there. So you just take that on, and once that's in, there's a hole in the core to go over the LED, so you just take that core piece, put it over the LED, and push it in until it snaps into place, and now you've got your matrix core. Come around back here, and the back, again, you'll see 2 holes here for the 2 posts on the back of this. You don't have to put the gold back on. So you just line that up with the holes, snap it together, and now that is on. That one's a little loose. My orange one snapped together on very tightly. So it may vary by print. You may need to tighten that up a little bit, but you snap that onto the back. And then you just take these gold pieces and pop them around in the pattern. So it should be, I'm putting it together the way the pictures show. You can kind of arrange these however you want to have the greebles display. We'll put a thin one up here. So you snap that on. And then a plain one opposite of that right here. Just slide these into the slots here. And again, you have the option if you want to adhere these, use some glue to hold all this stuff together, you can do that. You have that option. But I do find that a lot of times these hold together fairly well without that. Now the gold plastic seems to be a little bit more, have a few more burrs in the print. You may want to spend, if you get the gold version, you may need to spend a little time cleaning it up. It doesn't come out as smooth as the orange did, I've found. But, or maybe it's just because it's shiny. And it actually is much shinier than I thought. I thought this was going to be more of a butterscotch gold, and it actually is a nice, shiny, reflective gold. So yeah. So you may need, like you said, how much cleanup you need to do may vary on the material and the print, but it's not a lot. You just snap all the pieces on to form the matrix. And now we have a golden version, and that's really, like I said, unless you decide to glue these pieces into place or do any cleanup, that's all there is to it. Now you have a matrix. There is the gold matrix next to the orange matrix. Again, shiny gold versus kind of a matte orange. Personally, I prefer the orange, but if you know me, that's because you know how I am about orange. But they both look like nice matrix replicas. And then you just take the battery, the provided battery. And if I did this right, you should just need to drop it in the slot. Okay, well that. Okay, it is lighting up. It's just hard to see because of the light. This, like I said, this we're probably gonna have to stick in those pegs to make this snap together, or maybe even glue them together. But yeah, so I'm going to turn off the lights here. Refocus. There you go. You can see it's lit up. Turn it over, shake the battery out. You can kind of see it glowing in the dark a little bit. Here, let's see if we can charge it up. I know that's super bright, but I'm going to hold it up here right up against the light bulb. And then you can kind of see it glowing in the dark. Like I said, it's not super bright. It's not like flashlight bright, but it does actually give a pretty decent amount of illumination. But yeah, so to make it work, you just drop the battery in, make sure it settles all the way down. There you go. You may have to wiggle a little bit depending on how well you get those LED prongs bent. Sometimes if one sits off just a little bit, it'll end up hitting the top of it and not settling in. You may have to shake it a little bit to get it to go down smoothly. Although, once you get it done, I've managed to get my my orange version where now it literally is just like a coin slot. You just put in a quarter, make it light up. Want to turn it off, turn it upside down, battery pops right out. So when you get it tweaked just right, it really should be that simple. Just whoop, in it goes, lights up. As long as you keep it upright, it'll stay lit. I mean, like I'm shaking it so it's coming off the contacts a little bit, but stay lit as long as you leave it in there. Turn it upside down, boom, battery comes right out. Because sometimes you may have to shake it a little bit to get it in there, and then it'll get caught, and you kind of have to knock it a little bit to knock the battery out. You'll find it. It's just a matter of messing with it until you find that sweet spot where it just lets it slot right in and pop right out. But yeah, it really is that simple. That's how fast you can get a matrix of your own put together from Epically Geeky. Again, I put the link in the old video. I'll put the link in the other this video. Also, along with, let me bring this back down here. Go ahead and pop that battery out. Sent along this flux capacitor. This one takes a little bit more building. Again, it's only like 6 steps. These blue in here is also glow-in-the-dark plastic. This is actual wire, just cut to fit some little receptors, but it's basically just put 3 LEDs in and fold them around. This one does not have a coin slot type operation. You do have to kind of pull one, so you do want to be careful. You do have to kind of lift this up, unless you just leave the battery in there. But 3 LEDs, the flux capacitor. This cover, I ended up using just some small tacks of glue to hold the cover on. I don't know if it's supposed to snap into place, but mine was not. But you just take the battery, slot it in there with the completely flat side facing out. And again, it may take a little doing to get it caught between the prongs, but then all 3 of the little flux capacitor. Again, it doesn't zip, but it's just as easy construction as the matrix, and you get a cool little flux capacitor. It might be possible, like, again, these are designed to be very basic, quick kits. I'm sure it's possible in some way to rig this to a switch, and I may stick this in the dashboard of my car. Not like in the dashboard, but you know, there's those little openings where you can lay your phone when it's charging or store some change. I may try to find a way to put that in my car so it looks like my car has a flux capacitor. We'll see. And then turn it on and off. But neat, it's another neat little kit from Epically Geeky. And again, I'll put the matrix link first down there. You can choose the orange or the gold. I'll put a link to this as well if you're interested in that. But yeah, there are the 2 matrices from Epically Geeky, gold or orange. Your choice. It's like I said, it's not 1-to-1 scale to a person, but it's a really attractive looking little matrix. And I've been carrying this one around with me everywhere. And now that I've got the gold one, like I said, I'm probably going to clean up some of these little burrs in the plastic, but it's a nice little kit. So there you go. There is how to build your own matrix from Epically Geeky.